I'm about to save you thousands of dollars because I'm going to show you how to create a cinematic YouTube studio setup with the stuff that you already have. What you're going to do is you're going to download the free Camo app. I'll link to it in the description. And then you're going to use OBS, some free OBS software. I'm using Streamlabs. And then you're going to plug your phone into your computer and voila, you have free 4K footage. No need to buy a camera. No need to buy an expensive webcam. The 4K camera on the phone that you probably already are paying for is good enough. The only thing that you will actually have to buy in order to do this right is to make sure that your 4K footage isn't lagging. You're going to need the fastest USB cable possible. So you're going to go to Amazon and you're going to look for 40 gigabytes per second USB cable. That's the fastest USB cable on the market, and it will make sure that your 4K footage isn't lagging from your phone to your computer. Now, lighting. How are we going to do our lighting? And I will show you really quickly that I'm going to turn off all of these lights just so that you know that I'm not actually using anything else. See how dark it got in here? The only light that that is lighting me right now is the light from my screen. Now, how do you block out the sun? Guys, you do not need to spend any money whatsoever on blackout curtains. Tin foil is something you already have, and it's 1000% effective. It's ugly as heck, but it's literally metal. It blocks out the sun perfectly. You don't need to worry about the sun. All you need to do is go to your kitchen, put some tin foil on the window, and then you have complete control of the shot. So how do you make a cinematic shot? Very, very simple. You have a backlight. This is a lamp that I stole from my mom. Technically, a little too bright. I don't like it. This is a cheap little Walmart lamp. I think it's like $14. Turn that on. Oh, suddenly I got some blue here. I got a little bit of light on my face. That's nice. And then over here, what do we have here? We got another cheap little Walmart lamp. Notice the soft boxes are not on. I got this cheap little lamp here. I turn it on, and suddenly I have a much more cinematic shot. And of course, with the Camo app, you can actually adjust the exposure and the saturation and the brightness to get it just the way that you want. But there's another problem. Notice how this shot is kind of ugly, right? It's ugly. We got all these different color patterns here, but notice what happens when I turn the camera this way. Oh, well, it's a bit nicer now, isn't it? Right? Because it's clean. You notice even some of these books here, they're orange and red. They're actually turned around so that you only see the white parts of the paper because I don't want too much strange variation in the shot. And another thing that you can do is that with the lighting, you're really dealing with color and distance. So for example, I can bring this cheap light closer and really, really get some heavy hard light on my face. And notice the camera kind of just auto adjusts, right? And so what you're really dealing with is distance and hardness and color. I can just push this back a bit and suddenly and adjust in the app, and suddenly the the context and the color of the shot just automatically changes. Another thing that I really like is these cheap little Amazon lamps. I like them because they have these little colors here. But one of the things that you can do is I like this one because it allows me to put this light here on my face. But notice, I want you to notice the color difference. If I turn this off, boom, it's blue. Suddenly the shot is a little bit different. So you can play around with blue LED lights and yellow light. And so for this shot here, I got this blue light here. I don't really like it, but it's just for demonstration. And I got a very yellow light here. Now, I'll turn this off because I don't like it. I'll turn this one back on. It gives just a little bit of lighting on my face, but as you can see, we have a little bit of variation. And then I just turn to the part of the room that is the cleanest. And suddenly we have a much nicer, much more appealing shot. Even the blue painting that is supposed to be up there, I actually took it down, take it out of the shot because that much blue just sitting right there in that corner, gonna mess up the shot. And that, my friends, is how you create a cinematic shot with basically the crap that you already have. And so Use the phone you already have. You can plug it into your computer with a 40 gigabytes per second USB cable, and suddenly you're getting 4K footage that isn't lagging, okay? Up, down, up, down. It's not lagging. It's going great. This is basically 4K footage, and I'm using 2 cheap-ass Walmart lamps that are like 13 bucks each. That's a lamp that I stole from my mom, and I just stole tinfoil from the kitchen to block out the sun so I have control of the lighting. So, what should you actually spend money on? Audio. The audience will forgive mediocre lighting. They will forgive crap in the background that doesn't look. They'll forgive an ugly face like this one right here. They won't forgive bad audio. And so before you spend any money on a new camera, special lights, the only thing you should spend money on really is a microphone. And that's about it. That's about all you need to get started. If you have a good laptop that can already process footage, you can download the free version of OBS Studio, download the Camo app, and then plug your phone into your laptop and use it as a webcam like this. 4K already in your pocket. No need to spend any more money. You can get some cheap lights and just play with the distance and the color until you have a shot that you like. Clean up the background in your room, and suddenly you have a shot that's not half bad, right? And so that, my friends, is how you make a more cinematic YouTube studio setup for basically no money. The only thing you should actually buy is a microphone. Everything else you could more or less steal from your parents if you want to, or you already own it. And so that, my friends, will do it for this video. Click this video right here. I made a full 4-hour video documenting how I make my YouTube videos and how and this is the same strategy that I use to get monetized twice. Also, program is linked in the description. I'll see you guys there. Check it out. Cheers.